Hydrogen is the most basic of all earth elements consisting of a single proton and electron. It is abundant, usually found in combined form. Separating hydrogen gas from its companion substances takes a lot of effort, but it gives a nearly clean source of energy, producing only water and warm air. It is highly efficient, means that an automobile that utilizes hydrogen energy will travel more miles than one with an equal amount of gasoline. Compared to electric vehicles, the driving range, speed, and weight that can be carried by it is way higher in hydrogen driven automobiles, and it holds the key to the global warming situation at hand. Imagine yourself to be a business person. You run a handful of power plants, your income is steady, you are fairly well off. Should you consider investing in hydrogen as a fuel, or would it be a financially crippling decision? While hydrogen yields a lot of energy, only 25 to 30% of it makes it to the consumer. The rest dissipates as heat and is wasted during transportation of hydrogen from the power plant to power lines, etc. etc. The density of the gas is also very low, so it requires a lot of it to be packed together to increase fuel efficiency. That requires specialized tanks resistant extracted from the environment, and that requires energy. When that energy is obtained from the burning of fossil fuels or natural gas, it is known as grey hydrogen. The net amount of greenhouse gases released in this process and the regular emission of smoke and gases by automobiles is the same. Basically, this does not contribute to the reducing of emission of greenhouse gases, and or does so very marginally, and CO2 is released in the process. It is possible to capture and bury that carbon dioxide deep underground, and this is known as carbon capture method or blue hydrogen. Hydrogen can be extracted by two main methods. One is steam methane reforming, separation of hydrogen atoms and methane from carbon atoms, and this current is the current technique that is used to obtain hydrogen gas in vast quantities. It is economically fundable and a good option to boost your business. The downside includes that it emits a lot of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide to the atmosphere, leading to global warming. Assuming you are a moral conservationist, we will be focusing on the other process, electrolysis of water. This is, however, an expensive and energy intensive process. After extracting, you now need to use that hydrogen to generate electricity. Remember that storing and transporting part? That applies here as well. A lot of hydrogen needs to be stored as a liquid to be used in a high pressure or cryogenic tanks, and this is very costly. For example, it would be around 300 to 400 rupees per kilogram. So we'll be seeing how the internal combustion machine of hydrogen works. It's basically the same as the normal engine, except there are four tubes here. Hydrogen comes into the tube, it pushes the piston downwards. However, the piston exerts a force on it, and due to that the hydrogen compresses, its volume decreases, pressure increases, and a spark is created by the spark plug, which creates a small flame. And hydrogen, being a flammable substance, a highly flammable substance, catches fire very easily and results in a small combustion reaction taking place and some amount of energy being released. This energy exerts a force on the piston yet again, and it pushes it downwards. So this is what is exactly going on. Another way would be to use fuel cells, a more cost effective method for a typical middle class business person. Not everyone can afford to be the next Bill Gates or Elon Musk.
Let's see how a hydrogen fuel cell works. First, this is the polymer exchange membrane. It's also called as a polymer electrolyte membrane, and it's an ionomer. This conducts positively charged ions. Hydrogen from our electrolysis experiment enters this. This is the anode and it is made up of platinum. This encourages hydrogen to release electrons. So, the electrons pass through this pathway and this generates the flow of current. Now, what happens to these H plus? Oxygen from the air enters this cathode, and these hydrogens, after traveling, they collaborate with the oxygen here and they form H2O. This H2O comes out through a vent and water becomes a byproduct of our reaction. The electron flow here is what helps in the production of electricity.
Now you only need to market your fuel. Hydrogen locomotives are relatively new, only about 8,000 cars in the entire of California and a lot less fuel stations. Then you have to arrange for funds and chances of finding a Patreon on your first 50 tries are marginal. Still want to take it up? Business Person of the Year.